Back with ForeverFootballShow.com. We just came back in this beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon. We just came back from Sounders versus Celtic. The day was beautiful. The game, at least in my opinion, not so much. What did you guys think about Sounders versus Celtic, the biggest friendly of the year for us?
Well, I mean, unfortunately I couldn't go. I was working, but I was fortunate enough to watch the game. These friendlies, I never try and take away too much from them. Even for the Sounders, kind of saw more of the second string minus, a few players. Kufo looked sharp, I thought, so that was cool to see him play. But, an unfortunate call from the referee kind of ruined what could have been a productive friendly match for both teams, I think.
Yeah, the game ended up 2-1, but obviously it was still 0-0 when all that mess in our box happened. So, Thiago, you're a player, you know how these things work, and I know that you have strong opinions about this particular game today. But what about that particular play that sort of defined the rest of the result? Was it really a penalty? What do you play that?
I really think that the referee went really by the book and by the rules on that play. But in a normal game that we used to, what I'm used to, I mean, that would be a goal and maybe a yellow card for the keeper. And at that to that point, the game was being played both ways, and it was a good game to that point. When that happened, the game started. Sounders got down one player, and the game started getting a little bit towards the Celtic team. So to that point, the game was good. The call was really bad from the referee.
Very controversial
and it was a bad call. It was a bad call.
I do think it's a bad call, but ultimately it's one of those very gray areas where it comes to refereeing, because the referee point of view, he actually has a point. He said that he called and blew the whistle quick enough. And with that, he felt that he could have already been influencing the rest of the play and other players stopping and things like that. And that's why he decided to keep to his call of the penalty.
Yeah, I think he called it right when it happened. Didn't let anything goes on like after the play. So he called when he got kicked from behind and gave a penalty kick. But we've seen it before, and when you keep going and score the goal, you usually get the goal and everything goes okay.
It was interesting because first the players from Celtic started to complain because obviously they wanted a secure goal instead of going for a 50-50, and they went there and started complaining that they wanted the goal to prevail. And then once the referee convinced them that no matter what, you're going to have to kick this penalty kick again, then he went to give the red card to the Sounders keeper, Boss, and then it was the turn for the Sounders players to go complain, almost saying, no, we're okay, give the goal and keep the player, right?
Yeah.
So I think that ultimately if the players had negotiated
I think it was negotiated, really, and I think Celtic got lucky on that. Right when it happened, I was with a couple of friends, and I said, this is advantage for Celtic, because they're going to kick a penalty kick right on the keeper that is coming in, and it's completely cold, completely out of the game, and now we got to know that the keeper it's not even professional. It was a keeper that was just there to fill in. So I completely said it's more advantage for the Celtic because they lost the keeper. They're going to play one man down with almost the whole first half to go, and the second half with 10 men. And
who was our captain today? Who was our skipper today? Was it Marshall?
I didn't notice.
I think it was Marshall because he was
Marshall,
and I think it was a lack of experience because he should have gone first to the referee and ask for give it a go and keep the
I don't know that the referee could change his mind at that point. I mean, he's already pointed to the spot when he blew his whistle. He's not going to be able to all of a sudden say, oh, I was blowing my whistle for a goal. I mean, because he makes a hand signal.
No, but that's how advantage plays are done.
First,
the referee has to wait a little bit.
No, but see, he didn't wait. Was the thing I mean, he did it right when the player was fouled, and maybe should have waited a second or two to see that Samaras was still on his feet, still going.
Look, but how bad a referee has to be the center of discussion in a friendly game, right?
A good point. Yeah.
Like this is like worse than Webb that had a terrible performance in the final of the World Cup. Worse than the all referees that made all those horrible mistakes during the World Cup. That's just unacceptable and friendly.
That's the quality of the MLS refereing for
There we go. But let's go back to Kufo. I thought that he had some good moves, gave a little bit of more confidence to the team and having that body up front. But ultimately, for not having Montero ultimately was the one substituted to have the new keeper coming in. I think that was an opportunity that we missed to have those two players play together and start to find each other in the field.
I agree with you on that point, but one thing that we have to really think about it, you can have whoever you want up front. You can have Pele up front. If you don't have a link midfielder, and we don't have it, that can make those players play, you can have whatever you want up front. You have to have someone, you have to bring someone with a name that can link those players and can have a creativity in that midfield, because I don't see that creativity at all. I don't see someone that can get their ball and put those guys to play. So it was a good performance. I think he was a target man. Montero was flowing from the both sides, trying to move, coming in, received that ball, got fouls a couple of times, and he was more a target guy. But we have to start thinking about someone to make that link.
I agree, especially with we're missing Alonso, we are missing Lundberg today.
But Alonso isn't a creativity player. Alonso is more a distress. Well, okay, but he needs to. After Alonso gets the ball, he needs to find someone in that midfield that's more creative. He's a good player. He's a good passing player, but he's not a creativity or a make.
My bad is that with the team, with everybody in position, Lundberg can be that player. He just hasn't been finding the players who to take those opportunities.
But Lundberg, it seems that didn't fit in this team. I don't know if it's because of the group thing. If people don't go with Lundberg like the way Lundberg is, I don't know. I don't know what goes on. I know that I have been in teams where we had problems with players that we didn't like it. So when you don't have that click with the player that is supposed to be the leader, and everybody starts I don't know, it's kind of hard to have everything. And I don't think Lundberg fit this team for the time that he's been playing here. So we gotta think in somebody else to do that job and to do it good. I mean, Lundberg has done it a couple of times, but we have to think about someone with a name, with impact, that can come in and everybody likes it. Okay, let's go play.
That's a good question for Ziggy to start thinking about, and the management as well. But with that, we're going to go for a quick break, and when we are back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Sounders. And talking about new names, we're going to talk a little bit about the news of the week, which is Red Bull signing up with Thierry Henry. We'll be back in a second with ForeverFootballShow.com.